You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Okuntoye. You can join the conversation on X using hashtag Beyond 100 Days. Remember to tag at TVC News On. So the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is set to create substantial employment opportunities by outsourcing 50,000 jobs to Nigeria. The ministry announced a landmark memorandum of understanding between the National Talent Export Program and Lab4. The minister, Uzoka-Anite, describes this memorandum of understanding as a major milestone aligned with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. She says, quote, "This initiative cements our commitment to diversifying the economy and forging a Nigeria known globally as a nation of creators," end quote. Let's talk about industry, trade and investment under the Tinubu administration. President Tinubu, through the Minister of Information and National Orientation, recently said since assuming office in May last year, his administration has attracted $30 billion in foreign direct investment commitments into the real sectors of the economy, including manufacturing, telecoms, healthcare, oil and gas and others. How much of these commitments have come to fruition? I'm joined by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Uzoka-Anite. She's live in our Abuja studio. Honorable Minister, thank you for joining us on the program this evening. You just announced the potential outsourcing of as many as 50,000 jobs to Nigeria with the signing of MoU between NATEP and Lab4. Break it down for Nigerians to understand. How does this service export works and who can benefit from it?
Hi, Nifemi. Thank you so much, and nice to be here in your studio. And good evening, Nigerians. To your question, how does the service export work? Well, you know, we are very familiar with exporting products and goods, where you package your produce, whether it is agricultural commodity or manufactured product, and you ship. But one phenomenon that is not new, actually, is the term service export. Service export actually means the export of the creativity or the creation of humans. It's either in the job, the skills that they do, or in their products. For example, entertainment industry is a service sector, and exporting the produce or the products of our entertainment industry globally is going to be termed as a service export. IT is also a service export or a service sector. And any of these endeavors are called services. You know about telecoms is a service sector, financial services sector, like banking is a service sector. So that's basically what service export means. So what we are trying to do now in the ministry is to deliberately develop the service sector for export, not just developing the export of goods, but export of services. Because we found out that a contributor to our GDP, services contribute over 55% to our GDP. And it's been so significant that we must give major attention to it. And we found also that there's a lot of areas for collaboration between Nigeria and other countries who require our services, who require our manpower. And so this is one area, and a very exciting area that the ministry is focusing on developing to support the economic diversification agenda of His Excellency, Mr. President.
So you have mentioned earlier that this mission is to showcase Nigeria as a powerhouse of high-quality talent for the global service export and outsourcing industry. So Nigerians are concerned because many people want to jackpot, right? Does this mean these are foreign jobs, these 50,000 jobs? Does this translate into 50,000 yes. Nigerians getting real jobs outside of the country?
So on the sidelines of hunger in September 2023, last year, the president launched the Nigerian Talent Export Program. And the reason for launching that Talent Export Program is to deliberately focus on galvanizing our human resources to take advantage of the global skills shortages that we've seen. So now the MoU that we signed yesterday with Lab4 targets the 50,000 job creation in Nigeria by American companies. And that's actually the first MoU we're signing under NATEP. we have a lot of MOUs already in the works for other countries and other companies to participate in the skill development program. Nigeria is blessed with amazing human resources. It's probably not even probably, it is our most important asset. So now, the human resource of Nigeria, they are vibrant, they are creative, they're entrepreneurial, and they're high-spirited. Now, if you look at the global outsourcing ecosystem, for example, Nigeria stands with a lot of advantages. One, the geographical advantage of Nigeria, the time zone location, for example, our dialects, when we speak English, our language, our communication, our positions us actually as a major talent export. And so we've identified this opportunity, and we're developing deliberately for Nigeria to become a major global powerhouse for talent export. So that MoU that we signed yesterday will enable 50,000 Nigerians to have access to work for MSMEs in America. So we are here in Nigeria working for American companies and earning dollars, actually. So it's a major groundbreaking opportunity for the Nigerian youths in different sectors of the economy. But this particular one is targeting IT outsourcing in the area of telesales, telemarketing, cybersecurity, IT support services, customer service. So this is basically what that MOU is really dealing with.
Honourable Minister, the organized labor, over the years has complained about poor pay and poor condition of service for outsourced or contract workers. Has this been settled, covered in this MOU?
When you sign MOUs or you're working with globally recognized institutions like Lab4, Lab4 is a major company in America who's actually taking care of the outsourcing needs of millions of MSMEs in the US. You are definitely going to be working within the conditions of service that supports the ILO convention, for example. So we don't expect that there will be areas or issues of maltreatment of workers or poor conditions of labor. We don't expect to see any of those. The outsourcing or the business process outsourcing organizations, the BPOs, will also be subjected to certain criteria that they must go through to qualify to become a registered BPO in this scheme. And it's going to be run by Nigerians anyway, so it's Nigerians providing this opportunity or this environment for fellow Nigerians to work in. And these are centers that we will, accredit, we will register, accredit, and must meet all the necessary requirements for them to qualify to work in this scheme. So we don't expect to have any poor condition of service in those facilities.
We've seen President Tinubu make multiple trips in the past 9 months for bilateral and multilateral engagement. It's actually some 14 trips in 8 months. And he says it's to woo investors and tell them Nigeria is ready for business. But how much commerce and trade relations have we been able to garner from these trips? Are we keeping tabs on how much investment, real investment has come in the area of foreign direct investment?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Yes, the president, from inception of his administration, focused squarely on diversifying the economy and driving in investment to, cushion the effect of everything that we've seen, ranging from COVID-19 to the global commodity shocks, global financial crisis, and all of that. Nigeria has been very vulnerable because we've been a mono-product economy. So the president's focus on diversifying the economy means increasing the industrial base of the economy. And of course, with the expansion of an industrial base means we need to bring in more foreign direct investment. And that's been the focus of most of his trips, actually. And to your question, how much of that have you seen? The first trip we made was to India. Just about in January, the Indian delegation came back and reenacted their commitment to bring in the foreign investment. And we started seeing those investments coming. At India, we had a commitment of $14 billion. One of them was by Indorama. Indorama is making good its commitment to expand its fertilizer production facility in Port Harcourt. The second one was by Airtel Bharti. They're also doing that. and then the conglomerate of Indian industries that came back with a commitment to further, deepening their investment commitment that they made in India. So we've seen that 14 billion coming back or being materialized in terms of investment, real investment drive in the country. When they came, we saw some of the factory setups, some of the direct and indirect investments into existing greenfield and brownfields. So that investment is coming in. We went to Germany. We saw the materialization of the German Siemens deal. That's the Nigerian-German Siemens deal. That's materialized now. We've signed that MoU, and that investment is coming in. We saw the Riverside LNG deal, where the Riverside company in Nigeria will be exporting LNG to Germany. That's all materialized. Right. We also went to, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is leading the delegation to Nigeria in April to materialize the commitment that they made in Saudi Arabia.
There are actually about 14 trips, so if we start going through them one after the other, we're not going to leave here. There are huge concerns about the quality of deals that we make, and we're going to be talking about that shortly. That will be after this break. Stay with us, everyone.